Hello, everyone. My name is Kellen Hatcher, and this is my final project for Western Europe. And I chose Ford of the UK for the years 2018 through 2020. Okay. A little bit about the Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford first started Ford Motors in 1903 in Detroit, Michigan. And by 1909, he had expanded his empire to Western Europe, to the UK. And there are three major manufacturing plants and dealerships in the UK alone. Ford's mission statement, their mission statement is kind of universal. It is the same as it is in America, as it is in Europe and other places as well. And Ford's mission statement goes as Ford's mission statement is known as its vision. And that vision states people working together as a lean, global enterprise to make people's lives better through automotive and mobility leadership. I think it's very important and critical for companies to have mission statements. It kind of expresses to their customers and their audiences, especially through PR, what it is they're trying to accomplish. And the same thing goes for values. Ford's values are integrity, a servant's attitude, accountability, continuous improvement, teamwork, and fun. I love Ford's values that they have listed out here as a company. I think it's ingenious. It says to their publics, we value integrity, and every company should value integrity. We also have a servant's attitude, and that is critical because they make their revenue off basically other people. And to do that, they have to sell you a car. Um, Continuous improvement, that's another one that I love. And Ford is continuously improving. They are setting the bar in every way possible when it comes to something like my personal favorites as trucks. I'm a truck enthusiast. Or if it comes with electrics, they're very close. They run a very tight race with Tesla as far as how far they can go, without the battery needing to be recharged. I also love the fun. I love that they put that in their values because they want to enjoy where they work and they want to enjoy what they do. And it looks like Ford enjoys what they do because they have a variety of things and options to choose from. Okay, a little bit more about the UK. The UK itself is a unitary state, and that just means that they are governed within the framework of a parliamentary democracy under a constitutional monarchy. They also fall under a multi party system, just like here in America. And since the 1920s, the UK has been a multi party system consisting of the Conservative Party and the Labour Party. You can kind of think of that as Republican and Democrat, just like America. And also in the UK, going back to the unitary state, when it says a constitutional monarchy, the Queen is still, she's the Queen of England. And you also have a president there, which for me, it's a little confusing. You have the Queen, and then you have the president, Boris Johnson. I'm still not sure who is more powerful, who has the bigger say when it comes to that. The UK and Ford's footprint. The three countries where Ford has had a footprint in the UK is England, Ireland, and Wales. That's their biggest footprint there. In Bridgend, Wales, Ford has a major engine plant. In Cork, Ireland, they had a manufacturing retailing branch. I don't believe that is still there. Ford of Britain, they have also been around since 1909. It's 111 years. That's pretty impressive, considering that the company itself was started in 1903. All right, the history of Ford and branching out to the UK itself is on June 16th, 1903. As mentioned earlier, the Ford Motor Company was founded in Detroit, Michigan. By 1909, Ford branched to the UK, which was impressive because it's only 6 years later that Ford started their company, and they're already in the UK, which means that Ford of the UK and Ford of America, they're very close in age. So you could argue that Ford is just as much a European car company, as it is an American car company. And, okay, got sidetracked there. In 1909, Ford branched to the UK and founded Ford of Britain. Today, it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Blue Oval Holdings. The engine plant in Bridgend, Wales, was constructed in 1977. This year will sadly mark the end to the Bridgend engine plant in Wales, and we will learn more about this later on in the other slides. Ford came to Cork, Ireland during the First World War. They would stay there until they closed down due to pressure from the EEC in 1972. But in the time Ford was there, they were the major driving force for jobs in the Cork, Ireland area. Population of the UK is 66.65 million. I was a little surprised by this. I figured it would be a higher population, but it's only 66 million people. That's only 40 more million people than the state of Florida. So, not a whole lot going on there. All right, the Corruption Perception Index for the UK. And in 2019, the UK scored a 77 out of 100 on the Corruption Perception Index out of 180 countries. This means that the corruption rating basically is clean. Now, the corruption rating, it was confusing for me because that's 77 out of 100, so I was thinking, wow, they're a very corrupt country, but that's not the case. 0 being the lowest is that if you have 0, then that means you are absolutely insanely corrupt. But since they are 77, that means they're pretty clean. It's a little backwards. All right. UK's economic situation in 2019. In 2019, the UK ranks 6th in the nominal GDP for the world's markets. And they're behind America, China, I believe India, a couple other big name countries. Their unemployment rate in 2019, the UK's unemployment rate was 3.8%, the lowest since the 70s. And that is pretty impressive because here in America in 2019 and in early 2020, our unemployment rate was right at 2%. So that's pretty good. Both countries doing well, or were doing well. Their inflation rate in 2019, the UK had a 1.79% inflation rate. This is just an overview of their economics here. Their literacy rates. This is pretty profound. In 2019, the UK had a literacy rate of 99.0%, making them highly literate. They also had the same literacy percent in 2018. But when you look at this chart, it looks like they have been hovering at 99% for the last 30 years. I wonder how much further back that goes. That's phenomenal. very educated society there. Okay, now we get into for the UK, Hosted's cultural dimensions of the UK. As you see here, the UK ranked 35 in power distance, 89 in individualism, 66 in masculinity, 35 in uncertainty avoidance, 51 in long term orientation, and 69 in indulgence. All right. This is probably one of my favorite pieces here that I did with the research to finding out how free other countries are. And this is from the Freedom House report from 2018-2019 from the United Kingdom. For freedom in the world, the UK is rated as a free country with a 94 out of 100% rating, a 39 out of 40 rating for their political rights, and a 55 out of 60 for their civil liberties. Now, this is where it gets interesting. For freedom of the net, the UK ranked as a free country as well, with a 77 over 100 rating. They were rated at 22 over 25 out of 25 for obstacles to access, a 30 out of 35 for limits on content, and a 25 out of 40 for violations of users' rights. The last one there, 25 out of 40, that's pretty interesting. Some of their complaints were that their rights are being violated online, and there's a lot of censorship going on with the UK and their internet. They're keeping a close monitor on the content that they view and censorship of what they consider to be false or misleading news sources that people may gather on the internet over there. Okay. And the UK's targeted audiences from 2018 2021. In 2018, Ford shifted its target audiences towards female, millennials, and empty nesters. They did so by unveiling the EcoSport SUV. Ford also used a targeted audience approach to reach younger people and women with the Ford Fiesta. They used this car to appeal to consumers with lower income wages and a need for a sporty-looking SUV crossover. Ford also targets those in need of a serious sports car such as the Mustang. In 2021, Ford will release its Ford Mustang Mach-E. This will appeal to a brand of sports car enthusiasts who also want to go green. Ford's problems in the UK. Now, this is where we've seen the other sides of Ford in the UK, and we're going to see what's going on as far as some of their failures. Some of it's pretty big. The problems Ford faces in the UK today are a post-Brexit era. It has cost Ford hundreds of millions of dollars in lost revenue. And going back to earlier about why the engine plant in Bridgend closed down, it's due to Brexit and lost revenue for Ford. That's why they had to go ahead and cut ties with the engine plant there in Bridgend. Also, Brexit continued. A post-Brexit world for Ford and the UK could see them completely pull out of Western Europe altogether. They have tried cutting their losses by closing 6 European plants as part of a global downsizing. For now, they will remain in Europe, but the future looks bleak if things continue to go south for Ford in the UK. As of now, Ford has temporarily suspended their production on vehicles in the UK due to coronavirus. This could further the damage that has already been done by a non-Brexit deal, and as of now, Ford has a steep hole to dig themselves out of in the UK in a post-Brexit era. And due to Brexit, this has also led Ford to cut thousands of jobs at their Bridgend plant, which ultimately led Ford to close this plant due to all the job losses and the money that they've lost due to Brexit and various other things. This is one of the other things. Restructuring. They're restructuring for the third time in a decade in the UK. Ford is currently restructuring its brand in Europe They have slashed jobs, killing vehicles, and closing factories. This is the third time in under a decade that Ford has done this. In Europe, they did it in 2012, 2016, and again in 2019. The restructuring issues have occurred due to lost money in other specific areas. Even with all the bad, there is still a lot of good, and the good here is that their silver linings are, although the last few years have been rough for Ford in the UK, they still remain the top consumer brand. Um, as we mentioned earlier, they sell a lot of crossover SUVs, electric cars, and the big thing is they sell a massive amount of company vans. And Ford has also had their brand favorites, such as the all electric cars. And the big one is the Ford Kuga now. People are going crazy about that in the UK. Some of their strategies to continue forward, to pull themselves out of the hole in a post Brexit era. Some of Ford's bold strategies in the UK include having a zero emissions footprint by 2030. This is the one that I really love. I really love that strategy. And Ford said that to accomplish this, they would need all partnerships, stakeholders, government and local authority, vehicle manufacturers, and energy providers, and customers to make this a reality. Me personally, I believe Ford is a phenomenal company. They invest in people and automobiles of all various sorts for whatever your need is. Electric, trucks, like I said earlier, I'm a truck enthusiast. I can't wait until they create an all electric truck here in America. That would be nice. Okay, now we move on to the evaluation. When looking at the Ford Motor Company in the UK, they have both failed and achieved their goals as a company. They have failed due to the circumstances such as Brexit that has forced them to undergo yet another restructuring effort for the third time in less than a decade. They have slashed jobs and recently closed down operating plants. They have succeeded in the sense that they have been operating in the UK for nearly 120 years. Through their missteps, Ford still remains the number one consumer brand in the UK. They also have many different styles and vehicle offers for their consumers. Ford is also boldly attempting to completely go emissionless by the year 2030. This is a victory in many arenas for the company in Western Europe. And this will conclude my final project for for Western Europe, UK, Ford of the UK. Thank you very much.